Let's talk some NFL football. A little NFC East edition of Believe It or Not with the guys. Graz, Jalen Hurts, Eagles, biggest threat to the 49ers, believe it or not.
I'm going to go with not. I think the biggest threat to the 49ers is the team that had a 17-point halftime lead on them in the NFC Championship game. That would be the Detroit Lions, who brought back their offensive and defensive coordinators, as opposed to changing offensive and defensive coordinators for the second off season in a row. A lot of new stuff going on in Philadelphia. We've got to see it all work before we fully buy in.
Hard to believe Eagles went 1-6 after November last season. All right, Kevin, this will be Daniel Jones' last season with the Giants, believe it or not.
I believe that when he plays, he is not very good. On top of that, he is expensive. On top of that, he is injured. In the last 5 years, he has missed at least 2 games. They tried to replace him last year in the draft. I just think that we're heading towards the start where he doesn't even play this year than he's done as a starter.
Graz, CeeDee Lamb will hold out of training camp, believe it or not.
I believe that he will if there's no new deal in place by training camp. Now, I also believe that they should be able to get to a deal by training camp, because once the Justin Jefferson deal is done, I think you, me, and Kevin could have figured out CeeDee Lamb's contract in about 5 minutes. It's pretty obvious what it should be and what it should look like. It's still not done yet. I think they've got a chance to get it done sometime in the next 3 weeks, but if they don't, I do not believe you will see CeeDee Lamb there in Oxnard when the Cowboys report.
Speaking of CeeDee Lamb, Cowboy safety Malik Hooker talked about CeeDee Lamb on a podcast and being paid before Dak. Take a listen to this.
I feel like CeeDee should be paid first for the simple fact of what he does for us, how valuable he is for us, the leader he is for us as a team. I'll go CeeDee 1. You can interchange Zach and Dak at 2. Micah still has a lot to prove. Like he's done a great job his first couple years in the league. Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic player. But I feel like Micah still has a surface that he don't even know that he can scratch as far as what he's doing. So I would say Micah. I would say Micah's last just for that reason.
Well, he gave a rundown of everything on who should get paid,
what do you
when,
need us
where.
for?
Neek, I got to get your reaction to what Malik Hooker had to say.
I think that Malik Hooker recognizes that the Cowboys need drama, and it's just been too quiet in Dallas for too long. So Malik Hooker had to say something to get everybody stirred up, because that is the steady state in Dallas. It is something for sports media to talk about. So thank you, Malik, for giving us something to chew on for the next few days, and all of Dallas sports media too.
Yeah, absolutely. Kev, I got to come to you on this one. How would you describe then the Cowboys' handling of all these contract situations?
If you took the team name off, if you took the logo off, and you said, which team did this happen to, this entire situation, you would guess the Dallas Cowboys 1 million times out of 1 million times. This is how they handle contracts. This is how they handle media access and drama. A couple of years ago, Dan Graziano gave me his wrong phone number. He was 1 digit off, okay? So for 2 years...
I think you typed it wrong.
Oh, no, I think it was you. So
I know my phone number.
For 2 years, every time I text him, it would just go to somebody else, okay? The reason I tell this story is not to embarrass my boomer friend here.
Again, I still don't think I did anything wrong.
It's to tell you that the only excuse that the Cowboys have with Dak Prescott's contract, CeeDee Lamb's contract, Micah Parsons' contract, is that they have the wrong number for the agents. And they've been texting Dak Prescott's agent for years, and he just hasn't been writing back. That's the only way they've handled their business in a way that makes any sense. They are always waiting for a market to crash that is never going to crash. It hasn't crashed in decades. The price of premium players is always going up. It's like real estate. There's a reason young people don't own houses anymore. It's because they don't know when to get in at the right time. And so for me, I just think the Cowboys don't handle their business. They open themselves up to this sort of clown show, and it just repeats itself over and over. They never learn.
Okay, so then how are the Cowboys, Graz, going to handle this? How are you going to handle this besides giving him your right number?
I gave him the right number. He put it in wrong.
2 years
late. He put it in wrong. Hey, listen, Hooker's right. Like, CeeDee Lamb is priority number 1. Mainly because Dak Prescott's contract situation is going to be very difficult to figure out as a result of him having all the leverage. They can't franchise him, right? He does not have to make one single move in their direction until they come to him with the deal he wants. So CeeDee Lamb, I think, will be easier to get done. The wide receiver market is what it is. They may not like it, but they're going to have to pay him in the low to mid 30 millions at least to get this done, possibly more. But Kevin's right. Like, we have seen this in past training camps, right? We go back to Ezekiel Elliott, who held out, and they eventually gave him the deal he wanted. Last year, Zach Martin did the same thing, right, and got the deal that he wanted. So I think you see this repeat itself. I think CeeDee Lamb will get done, and then Dak Prescott, I mean, who knows? He could play out the whole season and be a free agent in March, which would really be something.
Neek, from a player's perspective, does any of this affect play on the field?
I don't think so. I mean, especially not in Dallas. I think, if anything, it puts them in a position where they want to be, where there's something to talk about and something to motivate them. I'm just mad at Dan for not telling me that trick. All you had to do was give Kevin one wrong number, and then he would leave you the hell alone. It's that easy? It's that easy? Hey, we're friends, Bros.
That is fantastic. Kev, give me your thoughts on there. You heard what Nick says. He didn't think it would affect the players on the field. What do you think?
I sort of disagree. Now, Fox and I are both high-level athletes. He played in the NFL, great college career. I can break 90 in golf. And I've done that more recently than Fox has played in the NFL, just so you know. So we understand the athlete's mindset. And for me, I think that when you're getting in a contract, I think unsettled money can be a distraction. I think we overrate distractions all the time. We say, oh, there's a distraction. If a guy isn't settled contract-wise, that can be, hey, does he play through a hamstring injury? Does he go a couple extra reps afterwards if he's worried about his contract going in? I don't think the typical contract year discourse matters with these guys, because all of them are going to get paid. Micah Parsons could have a devastating injury, still get paid. Dak Prescott, same deal. CeeDee Lamb, same situation. The problem is the Cowboys lose every contract stare down. Dan mentioned it. Every single one the player ends up winning. They know that, so they know how to play hardball. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott just went and worked out in Cabo for a couple of months and got all the money he asked for. That's the cheat code. And so they know what to do, and they can run all over the Cowboys. That's the biggest problem.
I just know I never knew that I'd have the athletic mindset once I broke 90.